550 KTRS. Speaking about doctors and babies, we got the best one, professor of surgery and pediatrics at Washington University, joining us via Skype. Good morning, Dr. Jeffrey Lowell.
Hey, Kelly. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Hello.
Good to hear your voice. Good to see you. Let's talk about, you mentioned there was a new Alzheimer's drug?
Yeah, this is a potentially really important. Alzheimer's, devastating disease. It's predicted to triple in terms of its incidence in the next 40 years, meaning that about 14 million people will have this mind-robbing disease. So this new drug, which has been successfully passed its phase 1 testing, thought potentially to be a silver bullet, is a drug called a monoclonal antibody. So it's a designer drug, a laboratory engineered to attack a compound called beta amyloid, which is the purported cause, or at least is associated with a buildup in people who have Alzheimer's disease. So this drug attacks and prevents amyloid from being deposited, and so far in the first phases of testing, it has been very successful, not only in slowing the disease, but also in having some improvement in memory as well.
So you would take it once you were diagnosed with Alzheimer's?
Well, I mean, these are really early testing, and so you raise a good point. Is there a preventative possibility for this? And that hasn't been tested yet, but there's plenty of very, very smart people, including very many of them at Washington University, who are hot on the heels of this, and we can only hope that they hurry up and get this thing figured out, because this is a horrible problem.
Yeah, all right, good. Thanks. A couple other things, Doctor. First of all, generic insulin. Why is there no generic insulin?
Money.
Really?
That's basically it. There is no good reason for it. Insulin's been around since the 1920s. It's incredibly effective at keeping diabetes under control, and unfortunately, because there hasn't been a generic insulin developed, there's many people that just can't afford it, which is horrible. The original insulins were developed from animals and are, in many people, very effective. But unfortunately, as time has gone on, they've developed new refinements in the insulin, which probably have had some improvements, but not all need all of these improvements. And as such, no company has felt it to be financially, quote, viable, unquote, to produce and market a generic insulin. I think it's a real problem.
So we still get our insulin from animals?
No, now most of it is all genetically engineered, it's a human type insulin that's produced.
Gotcha. Okay, but we have the ability through technology to create synthetic insulin. We just don't do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's really.
And we can, and there isn't any good medical reason why there hasn't been a generic identified and produced yet.
Yeah. All right. A couple other things while we still have you. You wanted me to ask you about the human genome. What's going on with that?
Yeah. Well, we're pretty good at tinkering with it now, and many scientists are now proposing a moratorium on doing some major edits to the human genome. The concern is that some scientist, some company is going to try and make alterations in the human genome in a way that is potentially both permanent and maybe even dangerous. We've heard of designer babies, trying to make the next McGraw or Kelly that is taller, smarter, faster, whatever, and this type of brave new world developments in technology are very concerning. But the problem is when we use the word scientists, and scientists urge temporary moratorium, there isn't any one body that will affect that change for every scientist in the world, and there certainly are mad scientists out there. So I think this is a good thing. This type of moratorium is probably a good thing, but it would be good to have some sort of universal, worldwide body that would support and endorse it.
Yeah, interesting stuff. All right. Dr. Jeffrey Lowell, professor of surgery and pediatrics at Washington University, a hodgepodge of topics today. Doc, thanks for joining us via Skype. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, well, we'll be talking to your sisters and brothers on text, too.
No, don't do that. Don't out me. Don't out me. That's bad. Thanks, Doc. Have a good week. 8:25 here, Big 5.